Silicon Valley's most ruthless CEO cut war veteran Jake Morrison's salary and humiliated him. You lost your leg. Did you lose your brain too? This is business, not war. The CEO didn't know that Jake's SEAL Team 3 brothers still lived by their oath, no man left behind, and they were coming. The glass towers of TechNova Industries reflected the California sun like a monument to corporate power. On the 47th floor, Jake Morrison limped into CEO Richard Blackstone's office, his prosthetic leg making a slight mechanical sound with each step. "Sit down, Morrison." Blackstone didn't look up from his 3 monitors displaying stock prices. At 38, he was Silicon Valley's youngest billionaire, known for his brutal efficiency and zero tolerance for weakness. Jake sat carefully, adjusting his prosthetic. He'd been working as a cybersecurity analyst at TechNova for 8 months since his medical discharge from the Navy. "Your performance metrics are down 15%. Blackstone finally looked up, his cold blue eyes scanning Jake like he was analyzing code. "Your last security audit took twice as long as Peterson's." "Sir, I identified 3 critical vulnerabilities that Peterson missed." "I don't care about excuses." Blackstone interrupted. "You're slow. Your disability is affecting productivity. I'm cutting your salary by 50%, effective immediately." Jake's jaw tightened. "Mr. Blackstone, I lost my leg in Helmand Province, protecting—" "I don't care where you lost it." Blackstone stood up, his $5,000 suit pristine. "This is Silicon Valley, not Afghanistan. You think because you're a veteran you deserve special treatment? You lost your leg. Did you lose your brain too? This is business, not war." The words hit Jake harder than the IED that took his leg. His hands gripped the armrests, knuckles white. "Furthermore," Blackstone continued, "I'm moving you to the basement office. The clients shouldn't see someone struggling to walk representing our company. I have a wife and 2 kids." Jake's voice was barely controlled. "My daughter needs medical treatment for—" "Not my problem. Amazon would have fired you already. I'm being generous." Blackstone turned back to his monitors. "Take it or leave it. Plenty of able-bodied programmers would kill for your job." Jake stood up slowly. As he reached for his bag, his phone fell on the desk. Screen up. The lock screen showed a photo. 8 men in desert camo, faces painted, weapons ready. "SEAL Team 3, Bravo Platoon, Afghanistan 2019. Blackstone glanced at it dismissively. "Playing soldier with your friends? That's cute. Now get out." Jake picked up his phone. His hand hovered over the contacts. Commander Mike Ghost Sullivan, Senior Chief Tommy Reaper Rodriguez, Lieutenant Ryan Viking Anderson. His brothers. "I need to make a call," Jake said quietly. "Make it outside. You're wasting my time." Jake limped toward the door. Behind him, Blackstone was already on a conference call, laughing about cutting dead weight. He didn't see Jake type a simple message to an encrypted group chat. "Brothers, I need you. Code black." Within seconds, 23 phones across the country lit up. Jake sat in his small cubicle, staring at his computer screen. The salary adjustment email had already arrived. His monthly income just went from $8,000 to $4,000. His daughter Emma's treatment cost $3,000 monthly. His phone buzzed. Mike Ghost Sullivan calling. "Jake, brother, what's the situation?" Ghost's voice was calm but alert. Now a private security contractor, he was between assignments. "It's not life or death, Mike. Maybe I shouldn't have—" "Stop. You called code black. We're coming." Tommy's already en route from San Diego. Vikings flying in from Seattle. "Mike, you don't have to." "Jake, do you remember Helmand? When that IED took your leg, who carried you 3 miles to the medevac?" "You did." "And who held the perimeter when we were pinned down?" "The team." "Exactly. This CEO, what's his name? Richard Blackstone. Mike, he's powerful. This is Silicon Valley. I don't care if he's the president. Nobody disrespects our brother. I'm making some calls." Within an hour, Jake's phone was flooding with messages. En route. Tommy Reaper Rodriguez. Landing in 3 hours. Ryan Viking Anderson. Driving up from LA now. Carlos Doc Martinez. Already here, brother. David Hawk Kim. Jake didn't know that Mike had also called someone else. Admiral Thomas Richardson, former SEAL Team 3 commander, now Pentagon liaison for veteran affairs. Admiral. They humiliated Jake Morrison, called him brain damaged, cut his salary because of his prosthetic. Petty Officer Morrison? The one who saved those kids in Kandahar? Yes, sir. Lost his leg pulling 3 Afghan children from a minefield. There was silence. Then, Mike, I'm looking at Morrison's file. Silver Star, Purple Heart, Bronze Star with Valor. Yes, sir. I'll make some calls. Also, TechNova has several Defense Department contracts. Would be a shame if those came under review. Meanwhile, Blackstone was in a board meeting, bragging about his cost-cutting measures. I just saved us $48,000 annually by adjusting one salary. The veteran was dragging down efficiency. Board member Patricia Hayes shifted uncomfortably. Richard, we need to be careful about discrimination. It's not discrimination. It's optimization. He can't keep up. His military experience is worthless here. Outside the building, black SUVs began arriving. Not aggressively, just parking legally, quietly. Men in civilian clothes, but with unmistakable military bearing, stepped out. They didn't enter the building. They just waited. The security guard, an old Marine, noticed their posture, their alertness, the way they positioned themselves. He made a call to his supervisor. Sir, we might have a situation, but I think these are the good guys. By 3 p.m., 24 Navy SEALs, active and retired, had assembled in the coffee shop across from TechNova. Ghost looked around the table. Gentlemen, we're not here to cause violence. We're here to educate Mr. Blackstone about respect. At 4 p.m., the SEALs moved. Not aggressively, but with purpose. They entered TechNova's lobby in groups of 3, spread out over 10 minutes. Professional, calm, wearing business casual. The receptionist, Jennifer, noticed them immediately. There was something about how they walked, how their eyes swept the room. Can I help you, gentlemen? Ghost smiled warmly. We're here to see Mr. Blackstone. It's about Jake Morrison. Do you have an appointment? No, ma'am. But please tell Mr. Blackstone that Jake Morrison's teammates are here. All of them. Jennifer's eyes widened. She'd seen Jake's military photos on his desk. These men looked exactly like the warriors in those pictures, just in civilian clothes. She called up to the executive floor. Mr. Blackstone's office, this is Lisa speaking. Lisa, there are gentlemen here about Jake Morrison. They say they're his teammates. Lisa looked at Blackstone, who was reviewing quarterly projections. Sir, there are people downstairs about Jake Morrison. Tell them to leave. I don't have time. 4. His phone rang. The caller ID showed Pentagon. Mr. Blackstone, this is Admiral Richardson, Joint Chiefs Liaison. I understand you employ Petty Officer First Class Jake Morrison. Blackstone's mouth went dry. Admiral? Yes, he works here. Excellent. I'm calling to inform you that several of Morrison's teammates are visiting your office. These men are decorated Navy SEALs. They're concerned about their brother's treatment. Is this a threat? No, sir. It's a courtesy call. These men saved Morrison's life multiple times. He saved theirs. They take care of each other. I suggest you listen to what they have to say. The line went dead. Lisa's phone buzzed. Security was calling. We have 24 men requesting access to the executive floor. They're very polite, but very insistent. Blackstone stood up, his confidence wavering. 24? The elevator dinged. Ghost stepped out first, followed by Tommy, Viking, and Doc. The others stayed in the lobby, for now. Mr. Blackstone. Ghost's voice was calm, professional. I'm Commander Mike Sullivan, retired. We need to discuss Jake Morrison. This is a private company. You can't just... Sir, with respect, we can, and we will. Jake lost his leg, saving children. You insulted his service and discriminated against his disability. That ends now. Tommy stepped forward. At 6'4" and 240 pounds, he was intimidating even in khakis and a polo. Jake carried me 2 miles through enemy fire when I was shot. He never left me behind." "We don't leave him behind." Viking added, "We're not asking for special treatment. We're demanding basic respect." Through the window, Blackstone could see the rest of the SEALs in the lobby. Some were talking to employees, shaking hands, taking photos. His staff seemed impressed. "What do you want?" Blackstone's voice had lost its edge. "A conversation," Ghost said, "about honor, something you clearly don't understand." Ghost pulled out his phone and showed Blackstone a video, grainy helmet cam footage from Afghanistan. "This is Jake Morrison, 2 days before he lost his leg." The video showed Jake running through gunfire, carrying an injured Afghan child. Explosions everywhere. Jake's voice on the radio. "I've got the kids, moving to extract." "He saved 8 children that week," Ghost continued. "The last 3 cost him his leg. Minefield. He could have waited for EOD, but the kids were bleeding out." Tommy opened a folder. Silver Star Citation. "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action. Against enemy forces. Bronze Star with valor. Risked his life to save coalition partners. Purple Heart. Wounded in action against enemies of the United States." "You called him brain damaged." Viking's voice was ice cold. "This man has an IQ of 138, speaks 3 languages, pioneered cybersecurity protocols that the NSA still uses." Blackstone sat down heavily. "I didn't know." "Because you didn't ask," Doc interrupted. "You saw a prosthetic leg and assumed weakness." Ghost placed a document on the desk. "This is a letter from the Secretary of Defense. He's very interested in how defense contractors treat veterans. TechNova has $500 million in DoD contracts, correct?" Blackstone's face went pale. "You're threatening our contracts?" "Number. We're explaining consequences. Every man downstairs has connections. Pentagon, CIA, NSA, private military contractors. Jake protected us. We protect him." The office door opened. Jake walked in, having been called up by security. He saw his brothers and his eyes misted. "Guys, you didn't have to." "Yes, we did." Ghost cut him off. Then to Blackstone, "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to restore Jake's salary. Double it, actually, since he's been doing the work of 2 people. That's extortion." Tommy laughed. "No, that's negotiation. Jake's been identifying security vulnerabilities your other analysts missed. He saved you from 3 potential breaches that would have cost millions." Viking added, "You're also going to make him head of veteran affairs. TechNova will actively recruit disabled veterans. They're assets, not liabilities." "And if I refuse?" Ghost stood up. "Then every veteran-owned business in America will know how you treat those who served. Every defense contractor will hear about this. Social media will explode with the story of how Silicon Valley's youngest billionaire called a Purple Heart recipient brain damaged." Doc showed his phone. The SEALs in the lobby had been live streaming, carefully edited. Number "Respect Our Veterans" was already trending. "But more importantly," Ghost continued, "you'll miss the opportunity to do the right thing. Jake's not just a wounded veteran. He's a cyber warfare expert who chose to work for you instead of the dozen companies trying to poach him." Jake stepped forward. "Mr. Blackstone, I never asked for special treatment, just fair treatment. My prosthetic doesn't define me. My service does. My work does." Blackstone looked at Jake, really looked at him for the first time. Not at the prosthetic, but at the man, the warrior, the father fighting for his family. Blackstone stood up slowly. For the first time in years, he felt ashamed. "Jake, I apologize. I was wrong. Completely wrong." He turned to Ghost and the others. "What I said was inexcusable. I've been so focused on metrics and efficiency that I forgot about humanity." Jake's phone buzzed. It was his wife, Sarah. "Jake, why is the news saying Navy SEALs took over your office?" "It's okay, honey. My brothers are here." Blackstone picked up his desk phone. "Lisa, call an all-hands meeting. Main conference room, 15 minutes. "Sir?" "Just do it." 20 minutes later, Blackstone stood before 400 employees with Jake beside him and the SEALs in the front row. "I need to address something important. Blackstone began. Today I learned a valuable lesson about respect, sacrifice, and discrimination. I insulted and discriminated against Jake Morrison because of his prosthetic leg. I was wrong. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Jake Morrison is a decorated Navy SEAL who lost his leg saving children in Afghanistan. He's also one of our best cybersecurity analysts. Effective immediately, he's our new Director of Security Operations with a salary of $200,000. Jake's eyes widened. Mr. Blackstone, that's not necessary. Yes, it is. Furthermore, TechNova is establishing a veteran recruitment program. We'll actively seek disabled veterans, not for charity, but because they're valuable assets. Ghost stood up. Mr. Blackstone, that's a good start. There's more, Blackstone continued. I'm creating the Morrison Foundation, funded with $5 million of my personal money. It will provide prosthetics and support for wounded veterans transitioning to tech careers. The room erupted in applause. Several employees were crying. Tommy whispered to Ghost, "Did we just convert a CEO?" "Sometimes people just need education," Ghost replied. After the meeting, the SEALs gathered in the parking lot. Jake was with them, emotional. "Brothers, I don't know how to thank you." "You don't thank family for showing up," Viking said, pulling him into a hug. "Remember Honduras?" Doc asked. "When I was captured, you came for me, alone, against orders." "That was different." "No, it wasn't," Ghost interrupted. "No man left behind isn't just for combat, it's for life." As the SUVs prepared to leave, Blackstone appeared. "Commander Sullivan?" "Mr. Blackstone? Would you and your team consider doing a leadership seminar for my executives about teamwork, loyalty, sacrifice?" Ghost looked at his brothers. They nodded. "We'll consider it. But Jake leads it." Deal. 6 months later, TechNova was featured in Forbes. How one company became the gold standard for veteran employment. The article featured a photo. Jake Morrison standing with his SEAL brothers, and Richard Blackstone, who had just hired his 50th disabled veteran. The caption read, "No man left behind, in war or business." Jake's daughter Emma got her treatment. His son learned that heroes don't always wear capes, sometimes they wear prosthetics. And in Silicon Valley, the story became legend. The day the SEALs taught a billionaire about honor.